Okay, so have you ever wondered how much water your oatmeal holds when you're soaking it overnight before you cook it? Well, um, here we have an experiment set up to measure the specific yield of oatmeal. Um, and it starts with the specific yield coefficient formula, which is just SY equals VD over VT, where VD equals the volume that drains by gravity, and VT is the volume of the media. And the media is oatmeal, and the fluid is water. We have 400 milliliters of each right here, and we're going to put it in the pan and see how much it holds once it's fully saturated, um, and how much drains by gravity. So here you go, 400 milliliters. I don't think it'll hold 400. Let's see. Hmm. Maybe I'm wrong. It doesn't really look saturated, does it? My guess is it's going to have a very high specific, a very low specific yield. It's not exactly hydrophobic. It takes a minute to all get wet. Okay. Well, pretty that's pretty saturated. Now we could go longer and calculate specific yield um, after a time, but let's do right away. So let's see what we have left here. Looks like we have poured in about 300 milliliters. And we'll attempt to pour out without getting oatmeal in there. It's a lot like rinsing and draining rice. You just hope it doesn't come cascading down out of the pan. Okay, we'll call that good. Maybe about 10 milliliters to our estimate. Oh, and there we go. That's about 100 milliliters. Okay. So, the volume that drained by gravity was 100 milliliters, and the volume of the media was 400 milliliters. And so, this portion of oatmeal is 0.25. So there you have it. The specific yield of oatmeal is about 0.25 if we consider just 100 milliliters of water that were yielded from the media, with the media volume being 400 milliliters of oatmeal. And there you have it. 400 milliliters of oatmeal, let go of 100 milliliters of water once it was fully saturated, and there it is. Then, if you wanted to look at another perspective of storage, you could look at the specific retention coefficient of oatmeal, where specific retention is defined by the volume of fluid retained in the media instead of released from the media over the volume of the media. And since we added 300 milliliters of water to fully saturate the 400 milliliters of oatmeal, and it let go of, it drained by gravity, 100 milliliters of water, that means that the volume retained is 200 milliliters divided by the 400 milliliters of oatmeal media. You get the specific retention coefficient of oatmeal immediately saturated and drained is 0.5. And there you have it. That's how much water oatmeal will yield and retain when saturated and drained immediately. Bon appetit!